We desire, we suffer the absence, we finally get what we wanted, and we're either disappointed or worse, bored. Arthur Schopenhauer. In his view, if a person wishes they could die, it may not seem irrational. So is he suggesting death? What triggers this thought? Does it carry any meaning? Is there a way out? It is called passive suicidal ideation. It is not a true desire to die, rather a desire to escape the unbearable pain, the invisible weight crushing the mind and spine. It is not about physical pain or suffering, it is psychological pain. The psychologist Edwin Shneidman calls this pain psychache, psychological pain so acute and relentless that the person cannot imagine continuing to live with it. In that state, "I wish I may die" functions as a request for the pain to stop, not for death exactly. There is another perspective as well for this wish to die. The person may think there is nothing more to expect from life. Viktor Frankl, Austrian neurologist and psychiatrist, who suffered 3 years in Nazi concentration camps and observed humans suffer, noticed that the prisoners who gave up were the ones who ran out of reason to live. He said those prisoners had nothing more to expect from life. Freud named this death wish Thanatos, a death drive. In most moments, the life drive wins, but when suffering becomes unbearable and meaning becomes invisible, Thanatos speaks, "Enough." Schopenhauer says that the thought makes sense. He saw life as one long exercise in want. We desire, we suffer the absence, we finally get what we wanted, and we are either disappointed or, worse, bored. In his view, "I wish I may die" is not irrational, it is almost logical. How to get rid of psychache. Psychache is reducible, and pain can be minimized. The core idea: you do not fight the death wish directly. You drain the pain that is feeding it. Practical steps: identify and resolve the violated need: belonging, control, identity, or autonomy. The pain is always attached to something specific. Once the reason is known, it gives a relief because it is no longer an invisible weight you cannot explain. How to get rid of thinking, "There is nothing more to expect from life." The core idea: the thought is a symptom of the pain, not a fact about life. When the pain reduces, the thought loses its grip on its own. How to overcome Thanatos. The core idea: you don't suppress Thanatos, you strengthen Eros, the drive toward life, connection, love, purpose, creativity. When the psyche reduces, the death drive weakens, and living feels worth the effort. How to escape Schopenhauer's pendulum that we desire and, in the end, get bored or disappointed. Core idea: Schopenhauer saw the problem clearly. He did not conclude death was the answer. What was then? Schopenhauer's answer was will denial, detachment from desire itself. His logic: if suffering comes from willing, the path out is to will less, not to end the one who wills. Through 3 things: aesthetic experience, ascetic living, and compassion toward others. Each one quietly loosens the grip of the relentless wanting. Aesthetic experience: losing yourself in something beautiful, music, art, literature, to the point where desire and self temporarily dissolve. In that moment, you are no longer wanting, just experiencing. Schopenhauer saw it as a brief escape from the will. Ascetic living: living with minimal desires, simple food, few possessions, no chasing of pleasure or status. The idea: the less you want, the less you suffer the absence of what you don't have. Compassion toward others: shifting focus outward toward the suffering of others pulls a person out of their own cycle of wanting. Schopenhauer believed that recognizing others suffer the same way you do dissolves the illusion of a separate self, and in that dissolution, your own craving loses its grip. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Thank you for watching.